Now, riot police with rubber bullets have enforced a nighttime curfew to combat riots in Los Angeles amid Donald Trump's claim that he will liberate the fractured city. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt spoke today, warning rioters against further violence.
And let this be an unequivocal message to left-wing radicals in other parts of the country who are thinking about copycatting the violence in an effort to stop this administration's mass deportation efforts. You will not succeed. Any lawlessness will only strengthen this president's resolve to defend the majority of Americans who want to live their lives peacefully, free from the fear of violent, criminal, illegal aliens. As President Trump said, order will be maintained and illegal aliens will be expelled from our country.
Meanwhile, protests have sprung up in Seattle, Austin in Texas, Chicago and Washington, D.C. against an increase in immigration raids. Of course, it is about the nature of the way that the immigration body ICE are operating. To give us the latest from the United States, we're joined by Idrees, who is a national security correspondent at Reuters. Idrees, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I wonder where this goes this evening, in your opinion. We've seen protests spread nationwide. There's been a war of words between the California governor, Gavin Newsom, the LA mayor, Karen Bass, and Donald Trump. What is the next twist and turn in this, do you expect?
Well, I think we saw, one twist yesterday when the mayor announced a curfew within a very limited part of Los Angeles downtown. And so I think, most people see yesterday as sort of being more calm, in part because of that. But what the impact of that more broadly is there are protests that are now spreading to Dallas, to Chicago, to Austin. And I think that's what people are looking at, not just LA now, but where else does this spread? I think today is going to be a critical day for that. We're going to see how much of the curfew is actually imposed, how much people listen in LA, and do other cities now start picking up? Because, there's a critical day on Saturday. That is the Army's 250th birthday, also happens to be President Trump's 79th birthday. And the plan is for nationwide protests. So the next day is going to be critical, but really how it builds up to Saturday, I think, is what law enforcement agencies around the country are looking at.
Yeah, and there'll be plenty of bodies, civil liberties bodies, other organisations, charities now planning ahead for Saturday, really, do you expect? There's going to be a nationwide mobilisation.
Yeah, I think so. And, it's an interesting time because it's sort of, again, intersecting with the protest against the ICE and immigration raids, with pre-planned protests that were already going to happen for President Trump's birthday. So when those mix together, I think that's going to be really interesting. And, part of the reason there have been such, jarring images from Los Angeles is what local officials say is, sending military troops to Los Angeles in an effort that they said was not needed. So if you have a celebration of that same military, I think it's going to be ripe for protests. President Trump has already said they're going to be met with a heavy hand in Washington, D.C. So I think everyone's sort of bracing themselves for what's about to come, in the next 72 hours.
Yeah, 4,000 National Guard troops, 700 Marines have been deployed, and we could see. I mean, could we see that in other areas? At the moment, there is a lot of consternation because Gavin Newsom, the California governor, feels that those National Guard troops and Marines were sent really without his proper authorization. Could Donald Trump replicate that in other areas if needed? Or was this more about him proving a point to California and to Gavin Newsom specifically?
Gavin Newsom is correct. National Guard have not been mobilized against the state's wishes since 1965, I believe. So it's been a really long time. Trump has the authority to do it, right? He is allowed to do and federalize National Guard and send them into states, even if they don't want them. I do think it's important to remember that, I do expect more National Guard troops to be called up. The Texas governor himself has called up his National Guard to sort of preempt some protests. So I think we're going to see a lot of states, potentially calling up their own National Guard without the president having to do so. And, just for context, in 2020, when there were protests in the United States against racial injustice, 23 states called up their National Guard for a total of 17,000 troops on the streets of United States. So, there is a precedent for National Guard troops being on the streets when it comes to civil disturbance. What was rare about California is the fact that California didn't want it. So I think we're going to see more. It's going to be interesting to see if it's states where they want it, or is Trump going to, in the words of governors overreach and call them anyway if they don't want them.
Look, great stuff. Thank you for joining us just to give us the latest there from Los Angeles and beyond. Idrees Ali, who is national security correspondent at Reuters.
You are a United States land. You are not in a war zone.